ICE raids in the community. We'll talk to an expert about your legal rights.
The 2017 gym collapse where more than 40 people were hurt is headed to court. Details coming up.
The recent rash of fires we've seen here in San Diego in recent weeks, we've learned all started in or near homeless encampments. The very latest coming up.
The freeway closure impacting San Diego drivers this weekend.
The runoff from the rains will wash toxic ash into the ocean in the Los Angeles area.
Many people call Carl Strauss the godfather of beer. The brewery's founders tell us the story behind the man as they celebrate 36 years.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts right now.
We begin tonight in the South Bay, where hundreds of people have gathered in National City to protest President Trump's crackdown on immigration. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. This protest started just within the past couple of hours. CBS 8's Elizabeth Sanchez joins us live from National City with how things are looking right now. Good evening, Elizabeth.
Carlo and Marcella, a little hard to hear you out here, but behind me you can see there are hundreds of protesters out here in National City on Highland Street. They have about one block closed off. Police officers are also here. I just spoke to them. They tell me that they're just here to make sure it's safe. I do have somebody here one of the protesters that we wanted to talk to, and we just wanted to ask you, why did you feel passionate about coming out here today?
I feel like we do a lot for this country and we are treated very poorly.
Okay, and so you felt the need to just come out here?
Yeah.
How did you find out about this protest?
My friends had actually sent this to me through Instagram, and yeah, so I came.
Okay, and there's a lot of people out here. Let me just step out of the way. You can see people with Mexican flags, American flags, just waving them. This has been pretty peaceful so far, but it almost feels like a little bit of a party out here. Someone actually said that to me because there's a lot of dancing going on, a lot of music going on, and people just making their voices heard. They say they want change. They're demanding change after immigration and customs enforcement began carrying out raids. So they have lots of signs that basically say fight ignorance, not immigrants. They have some references to ICE as well, just talking about some Mexican cuisine like horchata and saying we don't want that with ICE. So they're just trying to keep it light here. Again, you heard one of the people say that they found out about this protest through social media, and I have to say there are a lot of people out here. And again, police out here as well saying they just want to make sure everything stays peaceful. So there's also been some people who have spread information back out here live with you. There's some cars going by too right now. There's telling people of their rights, telling people what they should do in case ICE agents come to their door. So there's some teachers out here, there are activists out here, and even some children. So for now, we're going to send it back to you live in National City. Elizabeth Sanchez, CBS 8.
Thanks, Elizabeth. In our 5 o'clock hour, we saw a brawl break out, some sort of fight, but immediately people intervened. They broke that fight up. And since then, it appears that everything is peaceful out there.
Roads are blocked, so avoid the area if you need to drive through. And police are on the scene. It looks like they're letting the protest go on and not stopping it right now. But again, if you need to get through that area, you probably want to avoid the Highland Boulevard in that area.
With growing concerns tonight about ICE raids in San Diego County, what are your legal rights if an agent comes to your door to your child's school?
Several local schools are sending out letters to parents with tips on how to prepare for possible arrests. CBS 8's David Goffertson has more from an immigration attorney about the legal protections available to members of the community.
ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
ICE agents caught on camera in Escondido. The video recorded Thursday morning and posted by Union del Barrio, a group that follows ICE raids around the county, broadcasting them live as they happen. Escondido Mayor Dane White responding to the video on Facebook saying, quote, ICE does not communicate information to any real extent to the Escondido Police Department and does not communicate with me or the Escondido City Council. There is fear and concern in the community.
They're afraid that ICE agents might confront them and arrest them and detain them or deport them.
San Diego immigration attorney Habib Hasbini told me people need to know their legal rights if and when they get confronted by ICE agents. Number one, agents cannot enter a home without a warrant signed by a judge.
Without a judicial warrant, they don't have to open the door. ICE agents have no right to enter their house.
Hasbini says sometimes agents may show up with an administrative warrant signed by an agent in the field. He says that's not good enough.
They can ask the ICE agent to confirm if he has a judicial warrant. They can slide it under the door to make sure it's a warrant signed by the judge. It has to say on the top, United States District Court.
President Trump did recently sign an executive order allowing ICE agents to do raids at schools, so many districts are putting out advice to parents. School districts advise parents to update emergency contacts so the school knows who can pick up the child if a parent gets arrested. And if a student at the school is undocumented, agents still need a judicial warrant. They need a judicial warrant to take a child from the school?
That's correct.
They can't use one of these administrative warrants at school?
They cannot.
David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thank you, David. And CBS 8 reached out to ICE asking about potential immigration enforcement at local schools. We have not received a response back. Meantime, a kid's night out took a horrific turn when a wooden platform collapsed inside a Barrio Logan Playhouse gym. You see it there. This is video from the 2017 incident. Court documents say at least 40 people, mostly children, were hurt.
And as CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes found out, they are heading to court next week. She joins us live with more. Kirsten?
Yeah, I'm live here in Barrio Logan, where if you take a look behind me and through that gate, that is where the old Vault PK was. Now, I talked to a couple of moms and a high school freshman at the time who's now a grad student, and they all say they deserve better from MTS, who owned the building then and still own it now. Now, we have video of that collapse, and we're going to show it to you, but I got to warn you, it may be pretty difficult to watch.
My son thought that I was dead. I kind of woke up to him saying, Mom, 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 you got to get up, you got to get out.
Julie Blair was just one of the dozens of people who were hurt Friday night, November 11th, 2017, when this wooden landing she and others were standing on collapsed.
I was sitting opposite Veronica and I fell forward. So I fell on my face. That's why I cracked my skull and got a concussion, and I was bleeding, and my son was sitting next to me. He had a big gash on his face. Veronica's children, they were crying, and then I saw that Veronica couldn't even move. It was so scary, and just there were kids and plywood and metal everywhere.
And I just remember like the sheer panic of like landing, and like there was kids under me, there were kids like on top of me, and just like everybody scrambling trying to get out. There being like kind of blood all over like our legs, and it was like dripping on the floor as we're like running around trying to be like, oh my gosh, where's mom, where's mom?
Julia Doyle Ubel is a grad student at UC Davis right now, but in 2017 she was a high school freshman and a gymnast who was also hurt. Julia's mom, Veronica, was there too.
Because I was on the platform and fell straight down, 10 feet straight down onto my butt, I broke my left wrist and I fractured my T9 vertebrae. In my back, I have, screws and rods to fix my spine.
Court documents say on November 11th, 2017, one of MTS's tenants ran a Groupon promotion to attract even more people to the warehouse. That was at the time Vault PK, a gym that was subleasing space from San Diego Sports Entertainment Center, who was renting the space from MTS. The victims we talked to say the subleases and lack of responsibility adds insult to their injury.
You have to do things right. You have to do things safe. You cannot put other people's lives at risk just to do something cheap.
We reached out to MTS for comment on this story, and they say they cannot comment on pending litigation. But in earlier stories, MTS told CBS 8 that they leased out the space as is to San Diego Sports Entertainment. This case heads back to court on Monday. Reporting for CBS 8, I'm Kirsten Holmes. Back to you.
Thanks, Kirsten. Heads up if you're hitting the roads this weekend, crews will be working on State Route 52 and will prompt for lane closures.
CBS 8's Esmeralda Perez joins us live along the 52 near Kearney Mesa to tell us more about this project and the detours that are going to be available. Esmeralda.
Well, that's right, Carlo Marcela. Now, travelers can expect a smoother ride along part of State Route 52 thanks to those ongoing road work that's getting done. Now, the closure will begin in just a couple hours at 9 o'clock tonight and will last through the weekend until 5 a.m. Monday. So as you're making those weekend plans, to keep that in mind and make sure you plan ahead. Now, on your screen, you'll see a map of the area marked in red. All lanes of eastbound of the 52 from Interstate 805 to State Route 163 will be closed. Those blue arrows show the detour routes on the I-8 to the I-15. The green route highlights the detour along the 163 to Genesee Avenue. Now, this is all part of ongoing construction project, which will help smooth out pavement dips. In addition, the project will add another lane eastbound as the I-15 connectors merge onto the 52 and end in Sand Hill Road. Now, Caltrans reports that about 6,000 cars drive past by this specific area per hour during peak periods. Now, CBS 8 spoke to Caltrans Corridor Director Karen Jewell about this weekend's closure. Take a listen to what she told us.
We've definitely over the years done just paving to fill in those dips, right? As it would settle because of the landfill. So we did an emergency project a few years ago that tested out this compaction grouting idea, and those have been holding. So this project was the next step of trying to do that for another portion of the freeway.
Now, residents and business owners nearby can expect to hear some of the construction noise and some of the lighting set up along the 52 as this road work is well underway. Now, again, it will begin in just a couple hours at 9 o'clock tonight, all the way until 5 a.m. Monday. Back to you.
Thanks, Esmeralda. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration approves what's billed as a non-addictive new painkiller.
We'll have those details still ahead, plus what fire investigators say is behind some of the recent fires that broke out across San Diego County.
Wildfires that ravaged the Los Angeles area are causing another problem, the toxic ash with rain runoff. I'm Sean Stiles. We'll talk to those in the area about what's being done coming up.
Whether you are looking at a traditional tank or a tankless water heater, you know who to call.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOW. Bill How. Because we know how.
The $10 founding father without a father got a lot farther by working a lot harder, by being a lot smarter, by being a self-starter.
And the hope that you provide.
Hamilton in San Diego at the Civic Center from May 6th to the 18th. Get tickets at BroadwaySD.com.
Are you ready to remodel but don't know where to start? Join the experts at Lars Remodeling and Design and get the answers to all your questions at our free Educate Before You Renovate seminar and brunch on Saturday, February 8th. Space is limited. Reserve your spot today.
Whether you want to increase the value of your property, prepare for an addition to your family, or simply improve the beauty of your home, you can count on the award-winning professionals at Window World. With Window World's flexible financing options and energy-efficient products can help save on energy bills, you can rest assured that upgrading your home's windows is within reach.
Save 10% off, up to $1,000 on your home remodeling project, and receive 24 months zero-interest financing.
So go ahead, reimagine your living space.
True Smile Dental Implant Center has celebrated each new year with hundreds of patients.
I can smile now.
I can eat anything I want.
Just smile all day.
How's that burger? We're living the dream.
2025 is your year. True Smile is the team trusted by hundreds of local patients for dental implants.
After done shopping around, I felt more comfortable with True Smile. Probably the best decisions I made.
Stop waiting for another year to go by. Take advantage of 2025 pricing. Call now or visit TrueSmileImplants.com.
We've watched them.
San Diego Fire Rescue confirmed today at least 3 brush fires that erupted last week started in homeless encampments.
CBS 8's Kelly Hessedal has the latest from Mission Valley, where the Friars Fire broke out last week.
You can see this charred hillside here behind me. Now, it wasn't just the Friars Fire that we learned started in an encampment. We also learned that fires in La Jolla and Rancho Bernardo started in encampments as well. I'm also told some of those smaller brush fires that we saw last week started in or near encampments too. Some of the neighbors I talked to told me they feel helpless. They want to know, what are we supposed to do?
The flames were wall high, like already huge up on that embankment on the hill, and I work from home, and so there really wasn't any sort of heads up or a way to get out of here before the flames were like already at our buildings.
I don't really know what the solution is. I've thought about this. This has kept me up for nights thinking about this, and nobody has a solution, not one that works. We just can't get rid of people. People are people, they're not things. My heart goes out to them. It really does.
And here's video of the area along Friars Road where the fire was first called in. You can see signs that people were here, charred beer cans and other debris. Again, San Diego Fire Rescue confirms both the Gilman fire and the Center fire as well originated in encampments. A spokesperson made it clear, just because a fire starts in or near one doesn't mean it was started by someone who was homeless, and it also doesn't mean it was started intentionally or there was anything nefarious behind it. Everyone I talked to, though, agreed the homelessness crisis is something that needs to be addressed.
They're forming their own small communities in these areas, and so as long as we can provide them somewhere, or, give them an option other than, an unsafe place to be, I think that would be a really great thing that we could start with.
When we see homeless people, or people, homeless or not, wandering around the hillside, we call it in, and the police, come and they take action and get the people off. There is a place down on Friars Road where there are some more private areas where people do camp. We know it. We call it in when we see it. But I don't know the solution. I mean, if we knew the solution, it would be fixed, right?
And as far as an exact cause of these fire, we're told the Gilman fire and the Friars fire, an exact cause is undetermined, meaning they don't know if it was someone cooking or if someone lit a cigarette or something like that. The evidence was burned away. As for the Rancho Bernardo fire, that cause is still being worked on. I also reached out to the city today for comment, but so far we have not heard back. Kelly Hessedal, CBS 8.
Thanks, Kelly. While recent rain has helped efforts to contain wildfires across Southern California, a new environmental crisis is emerging.
Toxic runoff from burned homes is now threatening to contaminate Los Angeles beaches and coastal waters. CBS 8's Sean Stiles reports on why local environmental groups are sounding the alarm about what happens when fire meets rain.
The rains we've seen over the weekend have gone a long way to help firefighters beat back the flames from the wildfires that have ravaged Southern California. And while the rains are welcome, the runoff that they'll cause that will wash ash into the ocean through storm drains like this will be a huge problem, especially in the Los Angeles basin. The wildfires that destroyed whole neighborhoods in Los Angeles burned homes that were built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, back when lead-based paint and asbestos were commonly used in construction.
We know that there is bacteria, we know that there are heavy metals, but we don't know specifically what is out there.
Eugenia El Macora is the chapter manager for the Surfrider Foundation in Los Angeles.
We're very concerned about all the fires because LA, it's a one watershed and everything ends up in the ocean, no matter where the fires are.
But the wildfires that were closest to the ocean will have the greatest impact.
The ones that have affected directly the ocean have been the ones in Pacific Palisades and the ones in Topanga on the PCH.
There are water contact advisories starting at San Pedro going north of Malibu. The Los Angeles County Department of Public Health is saying that the ash in the burn areas is a toxic mix of torched cars, electronics, batteries, building materials and paints, furniture, and if that's not enough, it also contains pesticides, asbestos, plastics, and lead. El Macanora is very worried what this will do to the health of people and the ocean when the rains come.
The rainfall can wash debris, ash, pollutants from the burnt areas into the waterways, leading into increased bacterial levels and hazardous substance in the ocean.
Before the fires, tests were done for bacteria levels in the water, but not for heavy metals. So Surfrider is working with the Southern California Coast Water Research Project to look into that.
We're trying to collaborate with them in water quality monitoring moving forward due to the fires and the runoffs.
And with more rain and runoff on the way, those advisories could turn into closures.
And it feels just like deja vu from the pandemic that we have years ago, where we were not allowed to get in the oceans.
Officials in the Los Angeles area have expedited the cleanup, especially in coastal areas, to hopefully get rid of that toxic ash before it washes into the ocean. Sean Stiles, CBS 8.